Republicans can't win unless they cheat. Republicans don't win if more people vote. So they've been trying everything that they can. First, the gerrymandering of Texas. California answered, did that too. Now, while this is happening all over the place, now blue states are doing it, red states are doing it. I think it's all ridiculous. Nobody should be doing it. But if they're going to do it, other side should do it too. Stop playing nice. Stop playing fair. And I don't think it's going to work out the way they think it's going to work out. Republicans are the most unpopular ever because they're following the most unpopular president ever and doing whatever he says. Well, apparently some of them are not doing whatever he's saying because the SAVE Act is not going to pass. It probably won't pass the Senate, probably won't pass the House. And there's some things we need to know. Oh, well, also, but then Trump will try and do it with an executive order, which lawyers have already drawn up lawsuits. The second he does that, those lawsuits get sent in. It's totally illegal. Can't do it. Can't do it. Trump says, goes to his threats. He's a gangster, right? And he says, well, if you don't pass it, I won't sign any bills into law. Now, nobody's read the Constitution to him because the Constitution clearly states that any bill that's been passed by the House and the Senate, it sits on the president's desk for more than 10 days, automatically becomes law. They don't need him to sign it. It automatically becomes law unless he specifically vetoes each bill. And then, if they want it bad enough, they can counteract the veto if there's enough of them. So now he's threatening members of his own party. If they don't vote for the SAVE Act, he will harm them in every way possible. Now, we're talking about a guy who everyone that ever had dirt on him hangs themselves or unalives themselves in some other way. I had to say unalives because we're also on TikTok, and they're weird about that. Certain words you can't say. We have to say words like grape and pew pew rather than anyway. So let's talk about the SAVE Act. Okay, there's a lot of disinformation out there, and Marta over there at the newsroom has been doing the research, so I can help put it straight for you. Now, a lot of people are saying that if you have real ID, you're fine. That's proof of citizenship. No, that's not true. There are only 3 states, I don't remember the states off the top of my head, but you probably can look them up pretty easily, that have a real ID that also has an extra mark for citizen or not citizen. Just because you showed your birth certificate doesn't mean that. While illegal aliens can't get a real ID, other non-citizen aliens that are here can. They can get a driver's license too. They can get a real ID. So that does the real ID does not prove your citizenship. Now, here's another place where they're stupid. Okay, you're gonna have to have your birth certificate and or a passport. You got to have your birth certificate to get a passport. Getting your birth certificate can run you anywhere. It was $100 for me. I did it recently so I could get my real ID. I had to send away for it because I've moved a lot of times and lost a lot of stuff. And so I had to get my birth certificate, and then there's you have to get it notarized, and that was like another extra $20. But the notary person was right there on the site where I was getting it done, and it was it's not that hard, but there was money involved. And passports typically around a couple $100. I think Marta just got hers, and Marta got hers because her married name changed. And I'll get to that in a minute. But that's like a couple $100. The poorest states are the red states. The poorest people in the United States are in the red states. The per capita poorest people are in the red states. Now, you think Cletus, who was born of his cousin, is going to be able to come up with his birth certificate? And, well, no. So he's going to have to go pay for it. Do you think he's got that money? I mean, he's drinking Coors Light? No. There's going to be more Democrats that can afford the expense of proving your identification. The other thing, for Republican women that get married, it's assumed that they're going to change their name. And the SAVE Act says that you've got to register under the name that's on your birth certificate. So, yeah, they don't want women to vote. They want brown people to vote. They think, that black people are kept poor in this country for reasons. Brown people as well kept poor in this country for reasons. They don't think that they're going to be able to afford it. Well, a bunch of redneck Trump supporters aren't going to be able to afford it either. And all of the Republican women that have got married have changed their name, and there's more Democrat women that haven't, because of feminism ideas, that don't change their name when they get married. Do the math, you feckless idiots. My God. Now, this other thing. If you're already registered to vote, you're good. You're good. You don't have to prove your citizenship. I mean, there was some rumors that we were all going to have to register to vote. Marta in the newsroom looked that up on, I think, factcheck.com, and that's not true. So as far as we know now, if you're registered to vote, you're good to go. Good to go. Now, I don't know if what other kind of tricks they're going to play. I mean, they always stick unrelated shit in these bills. I mean, I think Trump stuck it in. Somebody stuck it in there. No trans athletes, and also this kind of thing. The SAVE Act, the Save Trump Act, is to keep trans people from voting too. Because, largely they're going to vote against the Republicans because the Republicans are opposed to their very existence. I don't give a fuck what's between your legs when you're playing sports. This is not an issue that drives my vote. Not having a fascist in power drives my vote. Not having a literal bunch of Nazi Christian nationalists trying to force their religion down our throats, that's going to motivate my vote. I really don't, I'm not obsessed on what's between your legs. I don't fucking care. It has no bearing on me. Trans athletes have no effect on me. By the way, there's about 10 trans athletes in the country. In the country. As far as children getting gender-affirming care, which is not just trans people, last year, the insurance companies spit out the data, about 2,000, the entire country. So 2,000 minors getting gender-affirming care, and not just for trans reasons, and 10 trans athletes in the entire country. Does it look like I give a fuck? Why do you all, if you give a fuck, why? Why? If it is a problem, it's a very small problem. It's not your problem. It's not my problem. I don't give a fuck. Be what you want to be, man. You can go, worship the flying spaghetti monster. I don't care. You have that freedom in the United States. You have the freedom of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. If pursuing happiness means you need to change your gender, cool. I don't give a fuck. It has no effect on me. Fascism has effect on me. Gas prices soaring. Trump just released sanctions on Iran. A day after he's threatening reporters with charges of treason, when that's the very definition of treason. He just offered aid and comfort to the enemy he created. Not only is Iran going to make money to kill our soldiers off of being able to sell their oil now, they're going to be able to sell their oil at the most expensive price that it's probably ever been at. And Russia too. Great job, President Dumbass. So, this is to save Trump's ass. If the House and the Senate get taken over, impeachment starts. He will absolutely be impeached. Then after he's removed, all those war crimes he's been charged with, hopefully, I hope somebody extradites him to The Hague to be tried for war crimes and hung. But there's 36 felony charges he was convicted of, still sitting there. Those will go away. Those aren't federal charges. Can't pardon yourself. Can't pardon yourself, pal. Those are still sitting there. So he knows his ass is cooked. I'm hoping that since he knows his ass is cooked, he flees to Russia. And then they use that stuff that they poison you with in Russia, or he gets thrown off a balcony or something like that. He's cooked. He's trying to save his ass. Save America Act. Clearly, he doesn't care about saving America. He cares about saving his ass. Michael Krell from WTH News Network. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for commenting, liking, doing all those things. It really helps out. You can help us grow just with a couple clicks here and there. And if you get on our WTH News group on Facebook, you can post stories there too. And if you post some good stuff there, well, we might cover it over in our newsroom. So check us out over there on Facebook too, WTH News Network. We're here, we're there, we're everywhere. I just found out we're on iHeartRadio. I didn't even know that, but all the podcast places, except for some of the podcast places that only do audio, don't carry the show, and then other places that only do audio, just play the audio portion of the show. But whatever, hit them buttons, y'all. See you next time.